You can see what others can't because you've awakened the unique god-tier skill, Eye of Truth. This is just a random branch on the roadside, but only you know it's the favorite toy of Countess Octavia. The monster that scares players to death is just an XP farm with a sliver of health in your eyes. You've just been pulled into the game world, arriving at a beginner dungeon called Scream Night. There are 8 participants in this dungeon, each placed in one of 8 rooms along the hallway. None of the rooms have windows, only a single door. Inside, there's a shield, an axe, and 2 keys. Hunters appear in the hallway at night and randomly kill a player in one of the rooms. The goal is to survive for 7 days to clear the level. You check your personal status panel, focusing on the skill bar. Passive skill. Eye of Truth allows you to see the true world. You quickly realize the change as you clearly see some eerie sights. Everyone has at least one eyeball floating beside them, with lines of text like live comments scrolling before your eyes. Based on others' reactions, you're sure you're seeing things they can't. It turns out the humans who went missing over the years were treated as toys by a higher civilization and thrown into this game. Now there are only 5 minutes left before the game begins. The man in the suit from room 207 steps forward. We've all heard the game's instructions. Let's get to know each other and share our items to survive this. The man looks honest, but the guy in room 201, a chubby man, isn't buying it. Disgusted by the suit's hypocrisy, he says, "If you want to cooperate, lead by example and show us your item first, or are you up to something?" The man in the suit is speechless, and after a long pause, refuses to share his item's ability. Frustrated, he says, "Good luck on your own," and heads back to his room. Seeing time is running out, everyone else returns to their rooms as well. Soon, the last light outside fades, and the game officially begins. The hunter has appeared. Number of hunters, 1. The hunter emerges from the wall on the right, passing rooms 208 and 207, circling each door with the sound of blades scraping the floor, seemingly trying to terrify the prey inside. There's a peephole on the door to observe the outside, but fearing your gaze might attract the creature, you lean against the door, listening to the sounds outside to gather intel. Soon you hear the sound of a door being smashed and a scream, but it's too far to tell which room it came from. The hunter seems satisfied and, with no intention of picking another victim, leaves through the wall it came from. Daybreak. The hunter has left. As soon as the announcement ends, everyone rushes out of their rooms. Everyone soon realized that the victim in room 201 was the big guy, whose wooden door was badly warped and had a huge hole smashed through it. Seeing the big guy dead inside, everyone felt sick to their stomachs. What bothered them most was that he weighed over 300 pounds, a physique that would have made him a legendary general in ancient times. If someone like him couldn't survive the hunter, then the rest of them had even less hope. The student in room 203 tried to lighten the mood. Maybe the guy in 201 was just big but not actually strong. The man in the suit seized the chance to push his agenda. "That's why I say we should all team up. I wasn't honest yesterday, so I'll go first now. My item is a piece of dried mutton. It boosts strength, but only for 10 seconds. Though no one responded immediately, their resistance had clearly faded. Just as the man in the suit targeted the student, the easiest one to manipulate, you suddenly cut in. Instead of obsessing over how strong the enemy is, why don't we think about why the hunter chose room 201? If the victim did something to attract the hunter, we can just avoid doing that tonight." You said this because you saw the comments, where people were discussing the game rules. They said the guy in 201 was just unlucky, hitting a 50-50 chance. The student was eager to chime in. Could it be because he looked through the peephole? "I stayed in the corner of my room all night and didn't dare go near the door." The housewife in room 208 countered, "Not necessarily. I watched through the peephole all night and saw the hunter pass by my door, but he didn't stop." The guy with glasses in room 205 raised his hand timidly, saying he also looked through his peephole. The man in the suit glared at you. Since his item was weak, he wanted to trick others into revealing theirs, but you ruined his plan. Impatiently, he asked the housewife and the guy with glasses, "You both saw the hunter. What did he look like?" The housewife only saw a blurry silhouette. Short, reaching only to an adult's waist, resembling the wall carvings, but those were too abstract to be useful. Luckily, the guy with glasses had better info, revealing he had a pair of night vision goggles. The hunter looks like a hunchback dwarf with long claws that drag on the floor, and he has no eyes, so he must hunt using other senses. Everyone returned to their rooms to analyze the information. The light outside the corridor was fading, and the hunter would be active again soon. The game prompt arrived right on time. The hunter has appeared. Number of hunters, 1. The sound of claws scraping against the floor started again from the direction of room 208. The hunter dragged his long claws, hunched over, and walked slowly down the hallway. You peered through the peephole and were suddenly shocked. You actually saw a health bar above the hunter's head, along with the word gaze. Is this another ability of the Eye of Truth? But that health bar doesn't look too healthy, it's already down to 48%. Was it the fat guy from room 201 last night? While you're feeling uneasy, the chat is still buzzing. You spot some key information in the comments. The rules are surprisingly simple. The killer only follows 2 patterns. Either from the front to the back or from the back to the front. Tonight it's 202, tomorrow night it's 203. You can't help but worry, since at this rate it'll be your turn the day after tomorrow. Just then, the killer breaks down the door, right as the tenant in 202 screams. A struggle immediately breaks out in the hallway. Not wanting to die like the fat guy, Lizzie doesn't wait for his door to be smashed. He charges out first. He chooses to fight for his life in the open hallway. The killer is injured and can't finish off players as easily as yesterday. This gives Lizzie a chance to fight back while calling for help. After seeing the killer's health bar, you realize the killer can actually be killed. Maybe the fat guy died last night because he couldn't move properly in that cramped room. So you grab your axe and shield and rush out. Almost at the same time, the student girl from 203 comes out too. While the killer is busy with Lizzie, you swing your axe hard at the killer's head. But with only 5 points in strength, the axe fails to crack the skull and gets stuck. Just then, the student girl shouts and delivers a double kick. With 2 powerful kicks, she drives the stuck axe another few inches deeper. The killer's head is now split open and its health drops below 10%. The girl collapses after using her skill, but the killer is still struggling. You pick up her axe and land the final blow on the weakened killer. Ding! You killed the hunter and obtained tetanus serum. Achievement unlocked. First blood. You killed an enemy in your first game and gained 3 free stat points. Remembering how you failed to crack the skull earlier, you put all 3 points into strength. The axe, which felt heavy before, now feels light in your hands. Lazy was seriously injured in the fight just now. You were already prepared to help him pass away with less pain. Fortunately, his item Super Gummy has a powerful healing effect, and he recovered shortly after eating it. Not long after, the game over notification sounded. The other 4 people hiding in their rooms came out one by one. 1. Seeing the 2 rooms that were attacked, everyone had basically figured out the game's rules. Following the 1 per day pattern, you need to survive 7 days, which is actually 6 nights. So the man in the suit and the housewife in the last 2 rooms can actually win by doing nothing. At this point, the man in the suit from 207 didn't bother pretending anymore. Since the hunter can be killed, if you all team up like last night, everyone can survive the game. The schoolgirl looked as disgusted as if she had swallowed a fly upon hearing this. She is the hunter's target tonight. Although her double kick skill is strong, she used up all her stamina helping out last night and can't use it now. She wasn't sure if anyone would help her, but you were deep in thought before saying to her, "Actually, you don't have to fight the hunter. Just come stay in my room tonight." Hearing this, the schoolgirl dodged away, crossing her arms and looking at you with suspicion. "What are you up to? I'd rather die or hit my head against the wall than give in to you." You ignored her reaction and calmly checked the comments floating in the air. It turns out, Screaming Night is only a level 1 dungeon with few rules. Once the hunter's target order is clear, you can easily clear it unscathed by just avoiding the selected rooms. After hearing your analysis, the schoolgirl gave you a thumbs up. Even though you seem cold, you're actually a pretty good person. Then, the 2 of you headed back to room 204. Soon the game prompt appeared. The hunter has arrived, quantity 1. The hunter stopped at the door of 203 and scratched it, but the room was already empty. Finding nothing, the hunter left just as you had predicted. At dawn, the survivors stepped out of their rooms. Seeing the schoolgirl walk out of room 204 completely unharmed, everyone was overjoyed. It turns out you really can avoid the hunter without fighting. It is now the 4th day of the game, and your room 204 is the one scheduled to be attacked. To thank you for saving her, Lizzie invited you and the schoolgirl to take shelter in his room 202. But you didn't accept his offer immediately, as you noticed each room only has 2 keys, and you suspect a room can hold at most 2 people. Over the next few days, most doors will eventually be broken down, and there won't be enough room for everyone to hide in just 1 or 2. This means someone will inevitably run into the hunter, and no one wants to risk their life on a gamble, even without proof. The brutal reality silences everyone who had just started to feel a glimmer of hope. The final 5 minutes of daylight vanished, the schoolgirl is taken by the rich man to 208, and you follow the prankster to his room, 202. Yet you still feel uneasy, as if something isn't quite right. Your anxiety soon turns into reality as the hunters appear, with 2 released. Upon hearing this news, the guy in glasses in 205 is the unluckiest, as the neighboring room is already empty, making him the target for both hunters. Meanwhile, the man in the suit in 207 doesn't look too happy either. He thought he could safely wait until the game ended, but he didn't expect the dungeon to release 2 hunters at once. That means tomorrow night's targets will be 206, and his own room, 207. The man in the suit sneers, suddenly coming up with an idea.